In our STEAM project, we begin first by planning the topic and then outlining the tasks to be undertaken. Through a series of in-person and online meetings, our group reached consensus and chose terrorism as a principal theme for our course presentation. The decision was performed by the subject global relevance and the potential to uncover patterns that could inform policy and also raising the public awareness. After we have our topic chosen, the next step for our entire team was to identify an appropriate dataset. Due to the specific nature of the topic, our priority was to find a dataset that is substantially valuable and have been collected for sufficiently long time enough to allow the extraction of meaningful insight. We considered several repository and consulted academic literature to verify the credibility and the scope of our candidate datasets. This led to the global terrorism database. We have been compiled continuously over a 50-year period from 1970 to 2020, thus ensuring the search contemporarily. Given its global scope, the dataset offers an objective perspective and guaranteed data integrity. Moreover, its detail-driven level records include attributes such as attack type, target category, and perpetrator group, enabling nuanced analysis across multiple dimensions. By choosing a dataset of this scale, we position our project to deliver insights that are both robust and representative of the long-term trends. In the subsequent phase, data exploration is a very essential step. Our team invests time to understand the meaning behind each variable and to outline preliminary action plans. Initially, we apply very basic methods such as renaming encoded columns, removing extraneous fields, and retaining only the permanent columns to our analytical objectives. We also fill out input missing data, and through this process, we develop an initial data dictionary that documented valuable definition, value range, and any coding scheme. However, the data journey does not end here, and is an ongoing process of discovery and experimentation. While performing our analysis and creating the visualizations, our team continues to incorporate new pre-processing techniques. Most notably is to engineering new features, normalizing values into defined range, or even casting data where appropriate. For instance, we derive temporal features such as decades, and we compute regional accurate to compare continent trends. Concurrently, with familiarizing ourselves with the dataset, we develop a roadmap for our subject subsequent stage. The question that arises next is to investigate the dimension of the dataset. This needs ultimately led us to frame and execute our project as a data narrative. Specifically, we aim to structure the dashboard so that it could guide users through a logical progression from a very high-level overview down to very specific details. So, the first question that we ask ourselves when creating the dashboard is that why do we choose this topic? Addressing That question became the key that unlocked the subsequent content. After articulating our rationale, we dive one step deeper to provide both our team and our audience with an appropriate level of insights, neither overwhelming them with data nor sacrificing the international depth necessary for comprehension. By answering why, we establish a foundation of purpose that inform every analytical decision, from which variables to visualize first to how to prioritize interactive features. When exploring the data in depth, we consider positioning it along spatial and temporal dimension, which are the most intuitive flows through which we approach data. Supplementing the dimensions, our dashboard also integrated information that we found especially compelling during our data investigation. So for example, we choose to map incident frequencies by country over time to enable users to see how the geopolitical event influence the evaluation of terrorism. Once all preparation were completed, the crucial next step is to begin our execution. Drawing upon our acquired knowledge, its team's member experience, and the criteria that we all define together, such as prioritizing the graphical clarity and ensuring an effective balance between communicative power, how much data we can transfer, and the amount of visual real estate acquired, how many space do we have left. We experimented with numerous chart types. Through this interactive process, we gradually refined and finalized our team's projects. So we did make a lot of graph, and then we compare them together, and after we have our idea exchange with other member in the teams, so we listed an appropriate list of charts that we can use in our data project. So in the last part, to guarantee the project effectiveness, so our team agree upon and prioritize a set of styles and principles throughout the development process. Below are some of the theories and the stylistic guidelines that we apply in our project to shape the aim of the project. So firstly, we trying to prioritize the analysis over the quantity of perspectives or the quantity of view. So we focus on analyzing and selecting only the most crucial data rather than presenting as much information as possible. So from this principle, we only focus on chat types that are meaningful, align with our core message, and also by limiting the number of variables displayed simultaneously. By limiting the number of variables displayed simultaneously, we prevent cognitive overload and also guide viewer better towards the most important insights. Second is the intentional use of monotone color scheme. So based on the lesson learned about color psychology, our decision to employ a monotone palette fosters a sense of visual consistency across successive dashboard pages. So this approach helps viewers to concentrate on the data itself rather than how did it transfer to the user. So furthermore, we also choose red as our main color because red is a very strong color that could grab your attention and also describe our main topic about terrorism. The third aims is to minimize the environment distraction. So in our group assignment, so we endeavor to limit the visual elements in our dashboard to avoid diverting attention from the data. So in this regard, we apply the principle akin to the outline of the lesson, graphical integrity, and data in ratio. So for example, so we did remove our grid line and every background elements to help the viewer to focus on the data only. So this minimalism approach guarantees that the viewer will focus solely on the content of the dashboard rather than paying attention to side things. Last but not least is to simplifying data presentation and also emphasizing interactive details. They are also one of the criteria, one of the main tasks that we are trying to build in our project. So instead of using as much as graph possible and also give the viewer as much information as possible, so we are trying to make the reader become proactively using the data by encode by embed the information in the interaction. Maybe the user can click on the data or they can hover in the data and the information will then appear according to the interaction. So this would help the user to be the captain in the ship, so they can dance in their own flows instead of following our flows. They can guide their lives and they can do whatever they want instead of just following on what we are trying to do. So that will give them the permission and the willing to work with our data work. So the point encapsulates the rationale and the methodology underlying on how our team developed the project. So thank you, Professor, and every of our peers that listen to our whole video. If you have any questions or curious on what we have done, please you don't worry to email us or contact us in any terms of media.